Alright. I think I'm recording using my phone and plug-in headphones. So it's kind of a rinky-dink setup. I just left the Abiquiu Inn maybe 40 minutes ago. And I'm doing the BDR challenge section, so it's a little bit more challenging route. Little bike makes it easier, but there is some kind of baby head stuff here. These rocks are round in some places like they were in a river a couple million years ago, and they might have been. Apologies if it isn't pointed quite right or the audio isn't quite right. I just don't care for the look of the videos off the GoPro, and I don't bother to carry it anymore. Let's see. Okay. It's hard to tell how steep things are even in the iPhone camera, but I find it seems a little bit more honest. It's going to be a little warmer here today, but I'm headed north now, so I'll be in Chama tonight, and then a little slab tomorrow towards the start of the Colorado BDR. This is just the tail end of the New Mexico BDR. I left a couple sections here before I went to Denver and flew home for a week. Just logistics, timing, worked out that way. Yesterday I got a little rain, but it kind of looks like today I don't see any dark clouds, especially to the south, but I'm going north. So we'll see what happens. I've generally had pretty good weather. It wasn't so hot when I was in the south of New Mexico. And if anything, it's been a little cooler in the mountains in Colorado than I might have expected. But given how little precipitation they've had in the winter, most of the snow is gone. So, but I haven't done any of the super 13K passes yet. I hope by the time I get there, they're mostly clear. So I think I did Marshall Pass. That was pretty easy, really. Pretty much graded forest trail the whole way. I think Ophir Pass is the one that I saw some video of a couple weeks ago. Had water and some snow running in it, so we'll see what it turns out to be. This is the end of this, getting to the end of this hard section. I think I did most of it before I turned the camera on. There's a couple small rock ledges, nothing to speak of, like 4 inches in places. Not so steep. Probably on the big bike, those baby head things would have been the hardest part, the part I just started at there. But yeah, I didn't have my helmet mount earlier in the trip, so I didn't take any video on the bike. I don't know, I'm not like Superman rider or doing super technical interesting stuff, but this maybe gives people an idea of what some of it is like. It's mostly open range, so you'll see these fences and cattle guards all over the place in the west. The ranchers rent a lot of the public lands from the government to graze the cattle, and you'll see water tanks out here where maybe they've been able to find a well and they'll pump out 1,000 gallons of water in case the well runs dry in the summer. Got to ride these rocky sections in second, the sand in third. First gear is a little too jumpy for anything but for the hardest uphills. And I'm sitting most of the time. I'll stand on the harder sections, but I don't know. I'm just so used to sitting. A lot of people would say, "Oh, you got to stand the whole time." I sit most of the time. There's one section of the trail where I came around a turn. I was like, "Oh, the trail goes right here," and that was a ledge. It dropped like 500 feet, so it was good. I thought better of that. When you are standing, though, it's easier to get a little more lean in the bike. This you could see, even though it's double track, would be pretty hard in a truck or Jeep. You just scratch up the sides pretty bad, I think, on these bushes, so it's a little narrow. Here's some fun stuff. Little bike doesn't even think about it. And I'm carrying no camping gear. Oh, I lost the trail here. Looks like it's over here. The tracks I have for this section do not follow this trail. I think the trail has moved over the years. Someone had an old map, they traced the track from. This stuff's a little more comfortable to stand on. Use your legs as shock absorbers. I don't normally talk this much. You're like, right. You're talking to yourself all the time. I'll tell you, talking to myself, I am the most interesting guy out here a lot of the time. Which is to say, I'm the only guy out here. Man, the KTM is so good. You got a big 21-inch front wheel. So that was a ledge. That would have been fun. Lava, I think these are lava flows or something. The rock's not as porous as I've seen basalt, but maybe it was an underwater flow? I don't know. To take it fairly easy, I check the tire pressure every few days. I always add a couple PSI, maybe every 3 days. And I run the tires harder than a lot of people would like. I think if they're doing technical stuff, enduro stuff. But it's to avoid pinch flats. You hit a sharp rock and you can pinch the tube inside the tire. So generally I run a little over 20, and that's avoided most of that. That time where I got a pinch flat in Idaho, I think I was running like I hadn't checked the pressure in a few days, and I could feel the front was a little soft. But it was a rocky trail, so I didn't mind that. But yeah, I hit a sharp rock and pinched the tube. Am I even on the trail? Yes, I am. These are some washes in here. I'm kind of curious. In the desert, how so much water, how they get such big washes. It rained a little yesterday, so the trail is actually a little softer and less dusty, probably than normal. I got a little rained on. I guess it goes left here. Man, this doesn't even look like a trail, does it? Jesus. I think I'm off the trail. Maybe that's why it didn't look like trail. I can get between these two trees. Tippy toe. Ah, it's there. Alright, let's try to not dump it down in this ravine. Sure looks like it's here, but maybe it was at one time. There it is. Probably got washed out. Oh my goodness. Glad I could put the video on. Probably got washed out there. This is a good way to start the day. I'm glad I'm not doing this at the end. You're tired. I did a 180 yesterday. I'm going to do about 140 today. Retracing my steps a bit. Trails are a little rocky north of here, but they're not technical really. This is a little technical, but mostly just point it and squeeze. Stand if you need to. This may be, for this trip, I usually just stick to the main trail because I'm not trying to impress anyone and I'm by myself. So if I have problems, I don't have any support. I only have what I have on me. And if I get the bike wedged somewhere where I can't get it out, that would be bad. That's what we call in motorcycling, the technical term for that is bad. That's bad. But out of Abiquiu, it's like 10 miles of pavement, so I thought, well, why not do something a little different? I'm set up for it. And man, I'll tell you, the KTM just such a great bike. I mean, in terms of capability, and I mean, for dirt bikes, they're a little expensive, but I think, wow, I think you get your money. I'm at about 185 or 6 hours. I put new chain guides and sprockets and chain on it. I adjusted the valves when I was home, but other than that I haven't done anything to it. Put tires on it. And changes the oil every 40-ish hours, which people think is, some of the people on the group on Facebook think it's sacrilege to not change your oil every 8 hours. And I'm like, dude, I'm not changing my oil every day. I've had the oil tested. It's good after 45 hours. Why would I change it every 10? So, yeah, great bike. I mean, geez, not comfortable on the highway. That's why I drove the truck out here from California, so I can sip my vanilla latte while I listen to NPR with my dirt bike in the back. Watch that off-camber stuff. Tires will slide in and out of those tracks. So generally the mantra is ride right, because you never know who's coming around the corner. But there's not really many people out here, so I'll try to avoid the big hole. Took a terrible line. Glad I went this way, man. This is really good stuff. Good stuff. I dig it. Basically, with what I'm doing, you ride about as fast as you can read the trail. So you're just looking to put your front wheel in a good spot where you're perpendicular to the dirt. You just tip the bike in. There's a spot where I saw I was gonna have to. I was headed towards a steep off camber, so I tipped it in a little further to come over that. I went this whole trip and I haven't dumped the bike on the trail yet. I dropped it in the parking lot wearing my flip-flops once, like in New Mexico. But I've ridden all this trail, and none of it's been too challenging, and I haven't dumped the bike. Usually, I dump the bike at least once or twice per state. This goes with the territory. You sort of do something funny, and then you just have a nice, sometimes in sand, you just have a soft fall into some sand. So nothing crazy. Haven't really hurt myself out here. Twisted my knee a little once in Utah years ago, but I was over that a couple days. Four-wheeler in here would be probably pretty fun. I don't know, bike's better, faster, easier. I haven't seen really seen many trees down either. There's a fire in Colorado. I might have to divert around on section 4, but I don't know. I don't know how long they keep the area closed when there's a fire. It might be open by the time I get there. It's like 5 days away. 6 days away. These forest trails are just nice. This is a wash. I thought I was near the end of this, but evidently not. Really rut it up. Ugh. My visor sticking up of my helmet. Cross here to avoid that tire gobbler. This is foot down. Good stuff. A little rock garden here. Yeah, this is good. This is great. Great little bike section. I wouldn't want a GS in here. But it's a great little bike section. Stayed at the Abiquiu Inn last night. Man, I didn't know that. Great food, beautiful place. They had a patio to dine on last night, and there's a guy with a guitar playing soothing tunes. The room was lovely with my own fireplace, and it was the most expensive room I had on this trip so far. Not by much. Top notch. If I didn't stay there, I would have had to drive like 20 or 30 miles to a hotel, which didn't sound appealing. After doing a double dip yesterday, because there was no hotels in Antonito. I usually book the day ahead for the hotels because day of there's a lot less availability, and I want to know if I'm going to go somewhere that I can be stopped. Once I get off the bike for the day, I do not want to get back on it. Just you're tired, a little sore. Okay, I think I should be coming out to the main route. This looks like it. Wow! What a fun trail. Looks like I go right here. What a fun trail. I think I'll stop the vlog here. I'm glad you guys got to see some of that. I hope it actually recorded.